Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode of 411 on the Copelands.
Yeah.
This is a very, very special episode. We have our first guest. Bree, would you like to introduce our guest?
This is my cousin. We have Chandra Price and
Uh-huh.
Jonte Price.
Woo, woo.
They're going to be our first married couple guest that we're going to do.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hello.
Thanks.
Now, something, before we get started, we're going to take a shot. Because to get them to tell us the real secrets about being married, they might need to be a little liquored up.
It look like we finishing off this bottle.
So that brings me to my first question. So do y'all share the last bite?
Listen.
You know what?
So you know they say if he'll give you his last bite, then you know that they love you.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I just ask just to see, just to be messy as hell.
So it's still a thing after all these years.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And especially
Okay.
somebody
Definitely.
that love food.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Cheers.
I gotta get you drunk, get you to spill all the tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good question though.
That was a really good question because I'm the stingy one. I'd be like, no. Okay, so we're going to have my cousins here who they have a business. They made us this really, really pretty shot glass tray because they're going to be the Copelands very soon. And so what is the name of your business?
My business is Price of Greatness, and my Instagram, Facebook, what else? I'm not on TikTok yet, but I will be. It's
You'll be
at Price. I am. I'm gonna try.
I'll get her there.
It's at Price of Greatness. Right. And and I'm Chandra TTEEP on everything as well because I make T-shirts and all the creatives.
Yes.
And I'm an editor.
She got it all, y'all. She did all my resumes. She is the reason I'm a flight attendant today because I didn't know what I was doing.
My Instagram is J Price. That's JAY Price 1. I'm a teacher, middle school teacher at that. I do train younger kids, young in the middle school, and high school kids and college kids.
So this podcast will be about creating a successful marriage and staying together.
Yeah.
And so we decided we'd bring the best people we knew that could answer that question
For our first guest.
on the show.
Yes.
And we would like to share their knowledge with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what was your question? Go ahead, baby.
So it was, how did you guys meet? When did it meet happen?
Jonte was a stalker.
No. That's a little harsh. Stalking is a little bit.
Let's see what happened there. What's the definition of stalking?
So I didn't know him, but all my friends knew him. We went to college together. We went to Louisiana Tech. He came in the year after me, and he knew all my friends, but I didn't know him. And so he would do stuff like wave across the quad at me. We like connected at different times. Like one time we was playing in the dorms. We rolled up in his room. All the lights was out. And I was sitting on the bed next to him. I didn't even realize that was him until after we had gotten married and stuff. And Justin was like, you remember that time y'all came in my room? And I was like, no. Everybody knew him, but I didn't. Okay. And so he like pushed up on me.
And my recollection of what happened was it snowed real bad in Ruston. She came home one weekend, and that was the weekend it snowed bad, and she couldn't get back in town. And I just remember that, we would play cards, and
we were
my
friends.
We were friends. My friends would come by, and they would be like, "Where's Chandra?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, Tiffany, her friend Tiffany. Like, where's Chandra?" And she'd be like, she ain't made it back yet. I'd be like, you need to call her. So I'd be like, call Chandra. And it'd be just an ongoing thing.
Me on, it wasn't Facebook, it was
College Club.
What?
I love
College Club back in the day.
I love College Club.
It wasn't Facebook.
Was that before MySpace too?
It was before MySpace.
Oh, shit.
Well before MySpace.
It was almost like a dating app.
Almost.
And you could like filter out other colleges, and you could just put in, and then you could talk to people or whatever. So everybody had a profile and all that.
Right.
And so he hit me up on, I was here and couldn't leave, and he hit me up on College Club talking about when you come home and all that.
So you slid in the DMs before they was
DMs?
Right. well before it was DMs. It wasn't like, hey, we didn't have phones that, hey, I'm sliding in your DMs. No, it was, did you get my College Club message? We took one class together.
And I was talking to another guy on the football team. and Jonte was in my class, and I told him I needed to use the book because I wasn't buying no books. He told me I couldn't use his book and take it to my dorm. I had to come to his room.
Oh, so he knew what he was doing. Okay.
So when I got to his room,
slick,
right? When I get to his room,
my man,
he's not there. He's not there. He in the shower. So I got to wait in his room for him to come in the room. So when he comes in the room, all he got on is a towel, and he was fine. Not that you're not fine now. He was
I get you. I understand.
like fine, like cut up. Like, so he coming up with his towel on. So he goes to start drying off, and his roommate's sitting there. And so I'm sitting there because he about to dry off. He gonna tell me, Chom, you just gonna stay in here? While this man changed? I was like, oh. So I left. But yeah, that was him trying to.
You did that for a reason.
You had to put on.
Right.
Yeah.
He had his play. He had his ways.
He did.
He got it.
He got me.
Yeah.
He got me.
Well, hey, I'm glad I got you. But you know, back then you had to like. You had to put out all the cards back then. Like, it's all the stops back then, you know.
It's still the same way. You had to do some things.
Yeah. You definitely had to do some things.
Yeah.
What would you say you had to do?
Well,
that was on the level. Yeah.
First of all, I had to get a new car before I took you on that first date.
Oh, no, that's the car.
Oh, my God. So, I'm going to tell you a story. So before I met her, we was talking, and I was in the middle. I was humbling myself. I bought this Mercedes Benz, expensive as hell. It was a payment on it. I ain't like it. I ain't gonna lie. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna humble myself. I'm gonna get rid of this car. I bought a car, cash. It was a Toyota Camry hybrid with an oil leak in it. And I drove it to work, and I got stuck in this mud pile. And they pulled me out, and the whole front bumper came off when they pulled me out. And
but it didn't have no bumper?
No, it didn't have a bumper, and I drove it to clients' houses with no bumper for like a month. Yeah, and then it had fell off, so I had it like screwed. Screwed on there. I had some little shady dude screwed on there. The middle console, the middle console had cracks in it. The dashboard, the vinyl was cracked. So before I met her, one thing I was like, I said, I need to get a new car. It was funny because one of my friends was like, Bree, y'all would not be together right now if he picked you up for your first date in that car.
And I wouldn't, because I would have been scared to get in it. I would be like, so about that, I'll just stay home.
Right.
That was the first thing that I did.
Gotcha.
So like I always say, you got to dress for the job you want. Not the one you got.
That's what you said.
You're supposed to. You're supposed to.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like, wife, he tripping. You know, some people be in a rush. And some people like wait and they be counting. I wish that we had ignored people earlier because like people talk about you living in sin and stuff. And I mean, that's why we got married. One day he came home. I was at work, at home sick from work. And he was like, let's go get married. Today. So we went to the courthouse. And they told us they could marry us right then. And I had a hot pink velour suit and some Air Force One. And he had on a whole suit because he was out looking for a job. And they was like, well, we can marry you in 20 minutes. And I was like, what?
Right. Yeah.
So we got married that day and didn't tell nobody.
We did.
That's one thing I envy y'all because y'all are 30-ish. And we had to learn who we were first. Not first. We didn't know who we were.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't know who we were.
Because how old were y'all when y'all met? You said freshmores?
Yeah. 19,
we were like freshmores.
Yeah.
We were like, what? 20-ish?
19, 20.
About to be 20.
And so I didn't know who I was individually, and you didn't know who you was. And then we had to figure out who we were together. And then we had to figure out who we were together with the baby.
With the baby, right.
All at the same time. Right. And so I didn't really like you until, we was probably 30.
Well, I think that's really refreshing to hear, just because, like, you're in a relationship, you always kind of feel like, I think we've talked about this, like trying to put your best foot forward. Mm-hmm. And eventually there's a time where you're like, fuck that foot. I'm just gonna get in the way I get in. So that's nice to know that you were just like, y'all been together 21 years and you were just like, I know you don't like me today.
Yeah. And you know what? One thing I would say is, he used to work at the railroad and he was gone like a lot. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I think that was good for us at that time because I didn't like your ass.
You can get like a break. Like
I get a break and then he'll come back. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. And so I think that kind of helped too. One thing that we've done is we have friends who are couples.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that has helped us a lot. Big time. You get with couples and you find out that shit ain't like it look.
Yes, and I do.
Right. And some of your stuff ain't bad as their stuff, and some of their stuff, and then you bounce those things off of them, and you gain like a camaraderie with people, and it helps. It does help, and you know just talking through stuff like this.
To piggyback on my wife, I guess what I should say is just don't think that you have to model your marriage or your relationship off of somebody else's, because your marriage and your relationship is y'all's.
Yeah.
Ours is ours. Yeah, we're gonna do stuff and we're gonna learn stuff from each other. Mm-hmm. But whatever y'all do to make it work, that's what y'all need to do to make it work. Not just model it off of somebody else's. Because then you're just saying, hey, I'm just gonna do what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
And you guys are not everybody else. And I think early on, babe, like we were
trying to do what everybody else.
Yeah. We were trying to do what everybody else was doing.
I honestly, think about the person you were with when you were 21.
Yeah.
That bitch.
Right. I would not have been with me at 21. He today would not have been with you.
Exactly.
21 years.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about.
I know.
That's what we're talking about.
I know you wouldn't say
that's the point.
That's the thing is like that's the part of the thing is that I'm glad I met Bree when I did.
Yeah.
Right. Met Bree at 21. Oh, she wouldn't have been with me.
And your patience is different.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And women mature. Women do mature a lot, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, women mature a lot differently than so when you come from a place where you've been loved and everybody, you know what I'm saying? So when you meet people, it's different. Mm-hmm. You have to take in consideration like how it's been for them. You know?
I just say this at 21. Yeah, I ain't date you unless you had daddy issues.
He's told me that before. He said he would look for girls who had daddy issues because they would be ready to do it.
Oh my God!
Look here. I believe it. Look at
girls.
I had daddy issues.
Look
here. I had daddy issues.
No, but the thing is, like, yo.
Well, maybe that's why it is.
No, but the thing is, like,
I had issues. That's why.
No, that's not why.
Okay. Let me redirect. So, I know your dad passed away and everything, but was he in your life?
Oh yeah.
All right, exactly.
But still like a trauma,
Oh, okay. It was traumatic, but he was there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's different than daddy.
He's talking about
I'm talking about women who don't even who daddy wasn't even there.
Don't know how you're supposed to hug a nigga in the
Look here.
So he don't touch your booty.
Look here. Here's the thing. Here's what I realized, and I had this conversation with one of my homeboys not too long ago. I said, look, women with a daddy don't call you daddy.
That's true.
That's true.
So,
women
who had a daddy in their life don't call you daddy because it's weird to them.
Because it's weird. It's weird.
Women,
oh my God, I never done
that. So, women who call you daddy don't already have one.
Preach.
So, if a woman called me daddy right off the bat, I said, I need to fuck with you.
You was on the hunt at 21.
Exactly.
Yeah. You were looking for her.
Not at 21.
He was probably running from me. He was running from a girl.
Here's the thing.
She looked confident. confident.
No,
as you got older, you start saying,
you change. You change what you want, who you want changes.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You don't want the same thing that you wanted at 21.
Right.
21, I could put up with this.
And remember that because y'all are going to change, and you're still going to want that. You're going to have to figure out, do you still want that person,
right?
Because y'all are going to change.
So we were having this conversation. During this conversation, we were having it with another friend. We try not to name drop until they're on the show. We're having it with another friend, and it was like basically saying how like you're in a relationship, and then there's a day where like your partner just flips the script, like or the switch. The switch is off like ding, and you're like, who the hell is this?
Right. Yeah. Right.
And then it's almost like you had a loss because you fell in love with that person, and now this person is a totally different person. And it's like, you're almost trying to get that person back, but you know it's never going to happen. Yeah. So now you have to relearn this new person and how to love this person. And it's almost like you're literally going through a loss. Like you're mourning the person that you lost. And it's like, but it's scary, but it's not fair to both people. Because you're allowed to change, but then it's like, but I fell in love with the person you were. And this other person, I don't really like so much right now. And I feel like that goes to the part where you said, like, I don't like you today. And I think I've told you that before. I don't like you today. I still love you, but I don't like you right now. You have to make me like you.
I always like you.
Whatever. No, you won't.
There's going to be a time. One of these days, I want to be putting that foot forward, and you're going to be like,
change is good. Change is good, though. Y'all growing? That's different than just you changing by yourself. Because once you with somebody, I feel like you should change. You should grow together, and you're gonna change. Because if you're not growing.
And then you have to communicate in order for you to grow together. I think then when you lose that, then that's when it falls apart. Right. But you have to be able to talk to each other to be able to grow together. Right. Because I'm going through a transition in my mind about my job and stuff. And so in order for me to figure out what I'm going to do, I bounced it off of him, you know. And this is my you can do it. Yeah. You know, you need that.
Because he is my best supporter. He makes me do things that I never would have thought.
Right. You know, and sometimes what he do get on my nerves, you always got an idea, but no follow through. Like you got the idea, but you can't finish it. But I'm here to finish it, and that's how you become one because somebody can do something and somebody can't. Yeah, you can cook, you can wash
that
dishes.
Real quick.
You can make.
Switch that. I mean, you can cook.
I'm the same way. I am truly blessed that I don't have to cook. But I wash the dishes.
Amen.
I might clean up sometimes.
Chef
Right.
And you are a better cook because I'm not.
Like she said, we do different things, and it correlates. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's like I tell my friends that are not married, like that's what you got to figure out. You got to figure out like what you do good and what you do good.
Because there's no roles.
Yeah, it's no roles
except for the trash. You got to take the trash out.
Nah.
It's funny you say that because that is like our exact
the trash.
Yeah, we don't really have roles either. But I take the trash.
Yeah,
I think that's everybody's thing, though.
And now you know we got a son. I'm like, trash. If your daddy not here, you need to get this trash and take it out to the corner.
That is funny.
I think that's everybody's thing, the trash. Yeah, but yeah, like that. You just gotta make sure that it works for you.
Yeah,
like we're not gonna do everything good together. But you may do this good, you may do this good, and we're gonna put all this together, and we're gonna be great. You know, that's what it is about. That's what marriage is. You know? That's what marriage is. Marriage is like us being great together. We're good separate, but we're great together.
Now,
I
think at one point I didn't think I was, but now I'm like, shit, I'm the shit. I don't need you.
But you get to that point.
Yeah.
You grow to that point.
I thought that I needed you, but now I'm like, I don't need you.
Yeah,
but you make me better.
Yeah, you grow to that
Which
point.
again, I think that's the maturity.
That's
because
maturity.
when you are young, you're in love. And you're like, I need this person.
Yeah,
it's more like a desperation need than you make me better.
Yeah,
you complete me. It's more like, no, I need this person to be happy.
Yeah,
and it's crazy that you would think that.
Yeah.
What were we missing in ourselves? That we were like, I need another person
to be happy.
To be happy.
I feel like I need
I
you
agree
to
with you
be
with that
happy.
one. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, that's the only time I ever felt like that before.
Well, we gonna work on that because we just said that's bad.
Yeah, you need to.
No, I'm not saying it like from like an attachment standpoint. What I'm saying is like if I didn't have you in my life, I would be happy.
Oh, okay.
In general,
but you would be okay.
It'd be tough.
Yeah.
Well, but it'd be a tough one.
But you would be solid alone. You would be a solid person alone.
Because you have a good job. You have a good head on your shoulders. You might be sad.
You might be sad.
But you'd be solid. And I think that's where she's coming from.
Okay,
but not, you would still be a complete person by yourself. But it's better with that other person.
Right. Yeah.
Because you was doing good without me.
Because you was
making more money without me. But no, so I think we've talked about some really good shit. So I'm like wondering what else. Okay, so I'm gonna ask a question and you can ask a question. Do you want to go first?
Right.
Did you always say I take up all the good stuff, so you go first?
You do. You definitely do. Okay. When the two of you were at your worst, what was the biggest thing that got you through it? Both of y'all answer that separately because you being at your worst may be different than
right. Oh, definitely. Oh, so when we know me being at my worst and her being at her worst, it's gonna always be separate.
In y'all relationship.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's what I'm talking about too. Definitely. It doesn't matter.
I had to pray.
Okay.
Like I threw myself in the church, and I was in there all the time. Like I opened the Bible. I went to church one time looking for the pastor to say it was okay for me to leave. And the whole sermon was about staying in your marriage.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, this is some bullshit. I was like, I'm ready to roll. I was like, I got me an exit plan. And the pastor preached about throwing away your exit plan. And I was like,
oh my gosh. So those are the best church moments, I feel.
Yeah,
and I feel like that, and that's so random, but I feel like that's always the reason why I say I don't go to church all the time because when I go, I get the message.
You get the message, like a real message. And one of my friends, I ain't gonna say her name, she was there with me, and she was like, "I hope this bitch ain't," because she was like, "I hope she ain't at church today." And I was there,
Wow.
But
that's crazy.
We was going through.
Yeah, we were. We went through a lot.
Yeah.
I think at my worst, what kept me was that you gotta be real with yourself sometimes. You gotta be real with you, because if you're not real with you, who will be? And I'm like, I got to do something now, and if I don't do it now, then I may not be who I am right now today because of me not stepping up. So I said, it's time for me to step up. It's time for me to be real with myself. I knew where I wanted to be at. I understood where I wanted to be at. It was just the fact that I wasn't doing what I need to do to be where I need to be at.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And people, and you know what I'm saying? In life, you get like that sometimes when you get lost. You get lost in yourself. You get lost in yourself and stop
pointing fingers.
You start, like you say, you start pointing fingers, at everybody. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's this person's fault. It's that this circumstance happened, that situation happened, and no, it's about you. It's about who you are. You need to be real with you and move and get it together.
Yeah.
And at my lowest point, that's what it was.
I kind of see y'all's relationship with y'all's families, how we want to be, as well as I see it. So, like, for instance, we're both living in Dallas, born and raised here, and we both have men that are not born and raised here. And so it's almost like they left where they are to be here with us.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of times, like even when Mama was sick, Michael was there. Michael was calling people that y'all was forgetting to call.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the same vice versa, that they get to know our families so well.
Yeah.
But like, how was it trying to get to know their families? Because I just feel like I haven't had that complete relationship there because it's so hard.
Don't do this. However, because we were young, this ignorant man right here, and then me accepting the ignorance. So we would go to Bayagula, Louisiana, and he would take me to his mama's house and leave me there and go with his friend. And so, he do that to you? You're too old to be doing that.
Hey, listen, Mike. If you hadn't seen your friends in a minute, hang on.
Really? Introduce your woman.
Introduce your wife.
Didn't. But this, we in college. But still, I'm like, who are these people? And there would be so many people. And they would come in and they would be there. And I'd just be like, who are these people? But because our mothers are who they are, we know how to be who we are wherever we at. And so I would be who I was. I'd be over there playing. Jonte's uncle passed away, and it hurt my whole feelings because we used to play dominoes together. You know, and you know, like his cousin, like just people pass away at this point. Them was my people. Like, forget you. I have to get through this stuff because these is my people. You know, and so I love them like they my own, and almost closer to some of them than I am my own family. You know, but because he would leave me, because he would leave me there.
I have another question. Let me switch the topic. So
you getting two questions? I'm just
playing. This is
a
fire round.
He gets the last question because I ain't got no other questions. Cool. He the last question.
Me and Bree, we'll just say we on the fence about kids. Okay, we're leaning towards no.
Because your marriage is your marriage.
Yeah, that's what you have to realize.
Yeah,
when it's all said and done.
I will say this: the response to not having kids has been kind of abrasive with a lot of people. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you ain't gonna have kids? What? What? No.
You're too tall and beautiful not to reproduce."
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
The ears on that baby.
Coming from.
Don't be like that. Don't do that. Don't do it.
I go into my ears, guys.
Don't do that to me.
Yeah, remember? No, he's seen a picture when they used to be like this.
Man, look.
He saw a picture.
So people want them or don't want them?
They want them.
They want them.
People want kids. My mother hasn't been bad about that, but just a lot of other people in my life have been like, "Oh, you need to have kids. You need to have at least one." Like, then I create an only child. So
right.
I don't want that. So coming from
but they both have been raised as only.
Oh, okay.
Coming from two people who've had kids young and have had kids a little bit older.
Yeah. Right.
A little bit older.
A little bit older.
Do you feel like if you didn't have kids at all, you would have missed out on something?
That's a good question.
Or do you feel like it's like, could you see yourself like going through life without kids, and did they do something for you that you wouldn't have otherwise got?
I needed. I needed my oldest.
Yes.
Really?
Hey.
Yeah.
We're together now. We're together because of.
I don't think so.
Listen what I think. I think that had we not had a child when we were going through, we were so distant in who we were and not knowing ourselves that I think that would have broke us.
So, do you feel like you were in that instance you were forced together you were forced to be together for the betterment of the child, or the child forced you to grow as a person? So, which then enabled you to be together?
I never thought that my daughter kept us together. It's as much as us understanding how to grow for our child.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? She wasn't like we had her, and it's not that we're gonna separate because You know, if we don't have her, we're gonna separate. It wouldn't have been that, but as much as let's figure out who we are. Let's find out what we need to do for ourselves first, and then because I felt not knowing who we were, not knowing how we were, or what we were going to do, was hurting our child. But if we can figure out ourselves, that's going to make us better, which is going to make us better together for her. You get what I'm saying? And I think that if we didn't have any kids, that would have broke us, because now what is our reason to get better as people together?
And not just while out in your 20s. And that's probably what would have been happening, right?
Gotcha.
And not just, you know what? I really don't need you. I can do what I'm doing by myself. I can do what I'm doing by myself, and we could be apart doing that together. You know, doing that whatever.
So if y'all would have met, let's say you would have met when we met, like at the end of your 20s, you on the tail end, you might, you don't want to wild out no more. You want to settle down. So I think our situation was slightly different.
Right. Yeah. Right. Oh,
more than slightly.
Well, they're different. But do you think that you can have a relationship like ours and not have kids?
Yeah, but like I said,
it's kind of a tough question to ask.
It is because I
can't imagine them not being there.
Because I needed Deja. Like when I had her, I needed her. I had too many hotels. Right. I'd have been more than Jasmine Sullivan at that point, And so I needed to slow. We needed to slow down, And so I think the reason that I am who I am today is because of her. Because I had to, and I tell her this all the time, because I had to be an example, for a little girl, another little girl,
Yeah, I was the first.
Right.
Bethany doesn't count.
I had to be an example, and I needed to and figure out who I was. And so I feel like I needed her. Now, if I did not have her, I think at y'all's age, I would have been okay. Because I would have had time to grow into, and had all the hotels and stuff in the 20s.
Right.
You need the hotels. They are necessary. And I had some, but I didn't have enough. I'm good though. We done had some good hotels.
Why I feel like that's... Is it almost like looking in the mirror?
We had some hotels. Right? We had a lot of them. But we had a
hotels. We done had some hotels, motels, and holidays.
Well, it's just funny because he's asked me before, like, what is like my biggest regret in life? And I was like, not thought more. I wish that I went back in time
and not thought about
the consequences as much. Like, of course, I don't want no diseases. I don't want to get pregnant.
Right.
But just like caught up in the moment of like, oh my gosh, I'm not that kind of girl. And then the times that you do, and then like the times that you do, the times that you are that kind of girl, you're like, yeah, that's a one-time thing. But no, it doesn't have to be a one-time thing. Like I feel like men have their hotels and they don't feel the pressure, and there's stuff like that. So I always tell them, I said, no, I would go back in time, and if I would have known what I know now, that I am a hot commodity, I would have been out there thawing it a little bit more before I found Michael.
We're raised to be confident, but we're not raised to be confident like that.
Yeah, I agree. I actually wish I would have done that less. Because I played basketball.
And
I was Starticus Prime. So I wish I would have done that less. So it's a balance. So if I could have just cut it in half, for a while there I was about pure numbers. It was a numbers game for me. So I just wish I could have done a little bit less. I just wish I would have been more. I had a conversation with my auntie about this. I told her, I said I just wish I would have been more selectively indulgent. Rather than going for the jugular.
The last thing before we close out was that we always said that we were going to do it to where, like, if y'all had any questions for us, whether it was like one question, if you want to give one question each, or just something you want to know about us, like our relationship, the future, just curiosity.
I got one. You got one?
Right.
You got one? Mine is a good bad one.
I
and a good last one.
I don't have nothing off mine right now, but I'll probably have something.
We got some hints in there. You can mix.
Nah, I don't need to mix now. Are y'all ready to be the Copelands together?
I am.
As one.
So, one thing that I told him was two things. One thing I'm really excited about writing a new signature because like Granny has a lot of curves in it, and it's just line. So Copeland has a lot of curves in it. So I've been practicing like a little girl, Mrs. Granny Copeland, Miss Granny Copeland.
You're not gonna hyphenate it like your mama with all the names.
So that was another thing too. I always said it was, well, I guess three things. I said that if I did have a child, remember I said I was going to be that person. I was going to have a junior, a girl junior.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, if I do that, then I'd have to hyphenate her name too, and I think that would be a little too much.
A lot.
But becoming a Copeland, I'm really excited about it. But I was telling him kind of like what we said, girls who have daddies won't call you daddy. I said I've never been more nervous about something, not marrying him, but getting rid of my Miller name. It never bothered me until like 2 weeks ago. I think I had a real serious moment with him, and I said, do you realize that me choosing, because it's a choice to take his name.
Right.
It is.
Is that
ain't no choice.
It's a choice. It's a choice to take your name, that it is me. It is you choosing to be my daddy. Like literally, like you have to take care of me. You have to support me. You have to be there for me because you're replacing my identity. You're replacing my father. I'm getting rid of his name and I'm taking your name.
Yeah.
So like, I was like, are you ready for that? Because otherwise I can't hyphenate it. But I was just like, I talked to him and he was like, well, yeah. And he was like, dang, I didn't think about that. I was like, yeah, like I'm ready to marry him. But it was talking about the last name change. All of a sudden I was like, wow. Because like, you know, my daddy, like I think because of how mama raises, because he raises, we definitely could have been spoiled kids.
Yeah.
But we just learned to work hard for stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah. We just learned to work hard for stuff. We could have been rotten.
Yeah.
There we go. We could have been spoiled, rotten.
She's including herself. Think about that. She's including herself right there.
We could have been spoiled, rotten kids. But, you know, because of him and the way he is, we've never had to think like that. And so I was like, dang, like, do I really trust this man right here to be everything and more that Robert Miller was?
Yeah.
My answer is yes. I'm really excited about it.
And don't expect him to be him. Because that's what I had to do. I had to let go.
Even though he's acting more and more like him every day.
Yeah, you do kind of act like.
It's weird.
It's weird that and he do the same thing. Like I had to let go of. I said he is not my daddy, and the things that I want him to do that he don't do like my daddy is okay because he's who he is, and that's okay.
Yeah,
okay. That's all that we expect.
And I guess I don't have a question, but my thing is don't try to do that because I think early on, like I tried to do that. Like I'm like, man, Mom didn't eat cereal, so she got breakfast. So I would try to do that thing.
I remember Daddy used to say that.
The things that when I would try to do that type of stuff,
she doesn't like milk. To the point, if it's like the day after she bought it, she's disgusted by it.
So that you know, not being able to do that at the time she needed, then it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
So don't get into trying to do those things if that's not who you are. I guess just be who you are. You know. You know, and that's the biggest thing. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you ready for me to be a Copeland?
For me,
that's my question.
I mean, I asked.
That's true.
That was my decision on when to do that.
Yeah.
So for me, it has been a challenge, like going from just like not necessarily like the actions, but more so the mindset. Because before her, I was in like a 8-year off and on relationship, and it ended up being what I would call toxic because we was doing whatever long distance. I was doing me, she was doing her towards the end. So it was like, and I was still out there getting numbers type of shit.
Yeah.
Right. So like taking all of my wildness and all of that stuff, and like me and her broke up like 8 months before I got with Bree.
Before we were official.
And like I promised myself, like the next relationship I get into, I'm gonna be here with it.
Yeah.
You know, and it ended up working out. But it's like that me wanting to be there, and my mindset like kind of like trailed that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I still was fighting demons for a while, trying to be who I wanted to be for her.
Yeah.
So having like when I feel like I could control that, that's when I knew I was ready. I said, because I want to be this person for her. Mm-hmm. So that's when I said, okay, now it's time for me to ask me for me to marry her. So the answer to that is yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's what matters.
Yes,
That's all.
So
you're gonna be all in. That's what matters.
Yeah.
All in.
Yeah.
We gonna party and get fucked up.
Hey, I took 2 days off.
And drink bang.
A bang, tequila and bang.
That might be a good little mix right there. But I think our first guess was a success.
Yeah.
Good.
Yay.
That was fun.
I hope you guys had fun.
Yeah.
So as we're closing, we're going to do more stuff like this. We're planning to have more guests, couples that are married, not married, singles. So, you know, we're hoping that our audience participates and tells us some things that they would like us to do. However, before we close out, we do want to tell about our, you know, social medias and stuff once again, right?
Yes. You can find me at Mike Copeland for real. That's Mike Copeland, the number 4 real.
And then you can find me on Instagram and TikTok as Brittany Like Peony. And you can find me on Instagram and TikTok as Brittany Like.
Try again. Come on. Take it. All right. Deep voice. You go. You go.
And you can find me on Instagram and why do I always do that accent? Instagram and
Like you're
TikTok as Brittany Like Peony.
Yeah.
I always do that accent. And then once again, Chandra, your Instagram for your business and personal
is at Price of Greatness. And Chandra TEEP.
Chandra T-Tap.
Like a T.
Like a t-shirt.
TEE.
Yeah.
And there's JAY Price. J Price 1. Instagram.
Dang,
Are you Barry?
I can't get it low unless I do this. Oh, Isaac. There you go. Well, yay, bye.
All right. Thank you guys.
Out for the bang.
Thank you for everything. Thank you for participating. Thank you for everything. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for everything.
And check out The Price of Greatness.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Price of Greatness.
Yes, sir. All right.
Price of Greatness 08.
Yes.
08.
Bye.
And we are out.